Hi, my name's Barrie Crampton. Welcome to another episode of Not the Evangelist News. Today, a couple of tweets have caught my eye again, and one or two things that have been bandied about the press. So we'll just go to this one. First of all, as I predicted, no car maker in the UK will have to pay fines for missing electric car sales targets in 2024, according to new analysis. I mean, let's just all remember that it's £15,000 a car if they do have to pay a fine. £15,000 a car. And there are various ways to kind of cheat the system, and I'm pretty sure that's what's been going on. So Dr. Andy Palmer there, he predicted that no car maker would have to pay these fines because you can actually you can buy credits off somebody else. You can sell lots of low emission vehicles to offset it. And you can also mortgage your future by not paying the fines now and borrowing against future sales. I think they've only got 3 years to do that. I could be wrong, but I think they've only got 3 years. So we won't actually know the true cost until 2028. Next one, the next tweet down, which I found interesting. Dr. Andy Palmer has answered somebody, and it says, just stops our kids getting asthma. But you know, what has EV ever done for us? Reduce CO2 to address global warming? Well, that too, but otherwise, what benefit has EV given us? Well, as far as I know, that when an EV is produced, it produces more CO2 than an ICE car. And I've even asked Dr. Andy Palmer when, in his opinion, and he was in charge at Nissan when the Leaf was produced, so I'm pretty sure he must have an idea, when does an EV become carbon neutral with an ICE? He never answered me. He's answered a couple of other things that suited him, but not that one. So, just stops our kids getting asthma. But you know, what has EV ever done for us? Well, I was born in 1958. I had extremely bad asthma. I nearly croaked a few times. My mum was always worried about me up until her dying day. She always used to say, I walk the bedroom floor with you night after night. Now, that was 1958. I remember that to be about 1964. Where I lived in Swinton, Manchester, there was one car down our road, and it belonged to Mr. Goss. My dad used to have to go and knock Mr. Goss up when I was ill with asthma and I couldn't breathe. He used to have to go and knock Mr. Goss up to take me to the chemist or the doctor, hospital, you name it. Mr. Goss, another lovely neighbour. I'm sure he won't be around now, but if his son Andrew's watching, who used to be one of my friends, thanks to your dad, I'm probably still here. But the point is, there was one car up our street. Loads of people had asthma then. What was the cause of it then? When I went to school, secondary modern school, and I'll do a blog about this because there was an incident that happened. As you know, I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. But every morning we had what all the other kids call the Heavy Breathers Club. And everybody with asthma used to have to go to the assembly hall. I mean, to be honest, it got me out of assembly and singing hymns and stuff, so I didn't mind. And quite often, I just used to fall asleep because I'd been playing football before the bell went, and I just used to have a kip. But there was probably about 100 kids at least in the assembly hall that all had asthma then. There wasn't all these cars then, so what gave them asthma? Okay, right, another thing. If cars give you asthma, I grew out of it. I moved into the motor trade. I started cleaning cars when I was 12 at a garage. I've been in the workshops and, you know, carbon monoxide and all that sort of stuff, and blowing brake dust around all my life, and I grew out of asthma. How did that happen? It should have just got worse and worse, shouldn't it, and killed me. So I'm sorry, but I can't believe that this is the case. We'll go on to our next favourite. If all car makers will avoid paying any fines for missing EV sales targets in 2024, presumably the SMMT will offer a correction, having been telling the media that the industry faces penalties up to 1.8 billion. Well, again, you can mortgage your future, but this is coming from the chap who says you can save, is it £1,600 a day on a car, on an EV, if you bought an EV. Never printed a correction. He's been told about it time and time again. Not deleted the tweet, just left it. But the funny thing is, the SMMT are as bad as he is. Because if there's any good news on EVs, trust me, the SMMT will be straight at the front. They don't represent the average motor trader. They more than overrepresent people who sell EVs. In fact, oh crikey, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me just see, have I got it? Right, so Colin there is having a go at the SMMT. The SMMT can turn everything round to be in favour of EVs. This is just about colours. Grey's still Britain's top new car colour, but blue bounces up the charts. Well, blue's third. Green car volumes reach highest since 2004, reflecting green powertrain trend. No, mate, it's not. It's reflecting that everybody wants a Lamborghini, a Verdi Ithaca Lamborghini. They can't afford it, so they get whatever they can do in that same colour. It's nothing to do with electric cars. Nothing whatsoever. Every single time goes green, goes green. So Colin here has got a downer on the SMMT and wants them to offer a correction. Well, we won't know until 2028 exactly what they're doing. If all car makers will avoid paying any fines for missing EV sales targets in 2024, presumably the SMMT will offer a correction. Right, so it's quite funny really. Which way should I go about this? They've been telling the media that industry faces penalties of up to 1.8 billion. It's cost them 4.5 billion. Not to sell these EVs, but to give them away. They discounted each one by an average of 11,800 to get them to give them away. And there's a couple of things. Let me just we'll go here. EV discounts cost car makers 4.5 billion last year as all brands avoid ZEV mandate fines. SMMT boss says EV discounts cost car makers an eye-watering 4.5 billion last year. Comments come in response to news that all brands have avoided ZEV mandate fines for 2024. Majority of firms saw off fines by using flexibilities within the rules. So they didn't make the targets really. They didn't get to 22%. They could fudge it and get to about 18%. So majority of firms saw off fines by using flexibilities. EV discounts cost car makers a whopping 4.5 billion last year as all brands avoided fines, all of them, for failing to comply with ZEV mandate targets. That is according to fresh information from the SMMT, which says that the additional cost could end up threatening jobs, market growth and business viability. Colin wants them to apologise because they've not spent 1.8 billion. They're just going to make people redundant. People are going to lose their jobs. They're going to shut down factories. And Well, I mean, there's car dealers going out of business all the time. It's catastrophic depreciation with EVs, which is also, because of the way this mandate's worded, is also causing problems with small cars, which is never really heard of in the motor trade. You know, you get a little car, a little economical car. I mean, just recently, the little cars, which are ideal for people to learn to drive in, youngsters, their insurance, they're paying more for their insurance a year than it's costing them to buy a car. So that has been holding up little cars because they're great value. And there's a big market for them. They have to be cheap to insure in a little engine. That's been holding the market up. EVs have even cocked that market up. Boss Mike Horse admitted that the EV sales targets had compelled EV market growth of around 50% last year, but said the cost of compliance was not sustainable for the industry. He added that manufacturers are currently having to make up the shortfall between the ambitions of the ZEV mandate and market realities, leading to hefty discounts on EVs last year. Market realities. The market reality is there aren't enough people want EVs, so they have to compel them to buy them. Okay? Just so as I don't get things wrong, compel, meaning force or oblige someone to do something. Bring about something by the use of force or pressure. Forced to come or go in a particular direction. Forced, not compelled. People have been forced to buy. The comments come just weeks after the government said that it was not expecting to dish out any ZEV mandate fines as a result of flexibilities within the rules. These include earning additional credits for reducing the emissions of ICE vehicles, as well as borrowing credits from future years. They are mortgaging the future of the car trade, because it's only going to get worse. Car makers can also buy credits from rival firms to avoid fines, a step which The Guardian reports that Suzuki took, as it failed to sell a single EV last year. So they bought credits. Now, using analysis from Green Campaign Group T&I, the paper reports that Volkswagen, Ford, Toyota and JLR are among the brands which will have to use other flexibilities. They haven't hit the targets to avoid fines for failing to meet 2024's 22% target. German giants BMW and Mercedes were among the outfits to meet the mandate by sales alone, along with Volvo's Chinese owner Geely. Stellantis announced earlier this month that it too had complied with the goal. Now that's not good enough. That's not good enough for the Green people. Colin wants a retraction. Andy forecast that this was going to happen. He knew that. Reacting to the findings, Anna Krasinski, director of T&E UK, said, surging EV sales in 2024 prove the mandate is working. Car makers are hitting targets. Now let's just go back to this other bit here. Fresh information from the SMMT, which says that the additional costs could end up threatening jobs, market growth and business viability. So the ZEV mandate's working. In this lady's brain, it's working. Killing the car trade, stone dead, but she thinks it's working. Surging EV sales in 2024 prove the mandate is working. Car makers are hitting targets. Now the government must maintain ZEV mandate ambition to continue to drive down costs for customers and focus on delivering a robust industrial strategy for the sector to support UK automotive manufacturing. It's doing the very opposite of supporting UK automotive manufacturing. Anna shouldn't really be doing what she's doing. She'd probably be best keeping quiet and just hoping that, some miracle happens in future. However, speaking on behalf of the SMMT, Horse had a slightly different view on things. Manufacturers are having to make up the shortfall between the ambitions of the ZEV mandate and market realities, a gap which has already cost the industry about 4.5 billion in discounts alone, he said. This is a huge cost which cannot be sustained indefinitely. But with the mandate compelling EV market growth of around 50% this year, the costs look likely to increase even further, threatening jobs, market growth and business viability. When we go to this Anna Krajinski, we go to T&E, the ZEV mandate fuels the UK's EV boom. T&E's briefing sets out why the ZEV mandate is achievable and how it's already making electric cars more affordable. It's making them more affordable because they've got to sell a certain amount of cars and people won't pay the money for the cars they've got, so they're having to give them away. The UK electric market has seen remarkable growth this year thanks to the ZEV mandate regulation. The continued increase in electric vehicle EV sales contradicts recent claims from car makers suggesting the UK may fall short of the ZEV mandate target in 2024. Crucial points include: car makers are well on track to meet the ZEV mandate. No, several didn't. Requirements for the year. Current data indicates that battery electric vehicle sales account for 18.3% of the UK car market, and in October, BEVs reached 21%. No, they were just pre-registered. They didn't sell, they were pre-registered of the market. While the official target is set at 22%, compliance flexibilities mean that car makers only need to achieve an average of 18% battery electric vehicle sales to stay in line with regulations. These flexibilities called for by the car industry are applicable during the first 3 years of the ZEV mandate and allow manufacturers to comply with the mandate by reducing CO2 emissions from petrol and diesel sales, borrowing credits from the future targets and purchasing credits from other car makers. Presently, 9 out of 20 car makers already have an excess of ZEV credits available, meaning they are already exceeding the requirements. This was in November. And this position will improve further as car makers always boost sales towards the end of the year in order to comply. So they don't boost car sales, they just pre-register them. For example, in December 2022, fully electric car sales reached 33%, and some of them are still for sale. So they don't know what they're talking about. We'll have a look about us, we'll see who they are. The UK National Office of Europe's leading advocates for clean energy. So we've got staff members, supporters, funders. Let's have a look at the staff. There's Anna Krajinski, and as usual, a bald guy with a bit of a goatee and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's just one guy in all these organisations. Look at. Is it? Could it be? Could it? Who knows? Right. So you saw they mentioned that Suzuki haven't sold one single EV. We'll go here. Year to date by brand, Suzuki. Suzuki have sold 26,574 cars. 26,574. So they've got to do 22%, haven't they? Times 22% equals. So they're 5,846 cars short. Times 15,000 equals. That can't be right. 87,694,200. So, Suzuki somewhere have got to buy credits or pay 87 million 694,200 divided by 26,574 equals £3,300 per car. They have to pay £3,300 per car for every vehicle sold. Do you think they'll make that much per car? Andy, like he predicted, nobody's had to pay. Colin wants a retraction from the SMMT because this is just one dealer, by the way. This is just one that you can work out, because the rest of them have, I think they've all signed an agreement with Tesla and so on for this EV credits. Tesla, of course, all those are EVs. So they've got a massive surplus and they can make even more profit. I mean, to be honest, they're falling right into Elon's hands, aren't they? What's to stop him from cutting Tesla's price by another 15 grand? Because he'll just be able to charge. He'll just be able to charge these lot. The world has gone mad. The motor trade's gone mad. It's just ridiculous. And these bloody green lobbyists, they're balmy. They really are. They're absolutely balmy. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.